I'm going to talk to you actually about STRS. Yeah, the setup was quite nice, that's for sure, according to Finviz. And I'll pull up the chart. Our STRS. What's interesting is they sold their one company on the stock market sold to another company on the stock market. So at at 6 p.m. the previous day, uh, they sold one of their complexes for $260 million. The press release is right over here. The properties agreed to sell Block 21 mixed complex for 260 million, and then basically STRS like made this look like it's a very good deal for them, and it seems like it is a good deal for them. Their 260 million is going into their pocket. So, and then in exchange they get this complex. Um, so in the short term, you know, status wins, and in the short term, Ryman loses. At least that's what it looks like. Now, if we go to STRS, you can see the stock price jumped immediately. It was very fast. Not immediately. It wasn't very fast. What I mean was, when it jumped really fast. But it didn't take. It started jumping at 9:20. That's when. So 9:20 the following day it jumped. So you had time to get in. You had post market and pre market to jump in, but no one really bought in. If I zoom in to like 1 second, literally, the stock jumped at 9:20 a.m. and then at 4 p.m. it went up a bit, and no one jumped on the news. So I don't know. Maybe this is timed incorrectly, but it says 6 p.m. stock price. So that's another thing. It's like you can't just follow everyone who's buying. You can also make your own decision whether you think the stock is going to go up or not. You can be a leader. with you don't have to have that many shares either. The stock is only $30. It's not too expensive, and it went from 30 to. So this is another thing. I think the hardest part of trading this was if the ask was $35 and you're looking at the stock at $32 and you're like, So what I would say is, look, the stock was already hot. So if I show you this indicator, my confluence indicator, it says to sell here. Even when it was like on the news, so like 4 p.m., at this point, it's like too late. I guess that's why a lot of people didn't jump in. So there wasn't really a buying opportunity, and then the stock just flew up. So I shouldn't say there wasn't a buying opportunity. I just want to say that when MACD is over zero, I talked about this in my last video. When MACD is over zero, you can buy when it's relatively high. You can, and you could still come out alive, especially on good news, and especially when you're very bullish on the stock. Like $260 million is a lot of money, so I could have been bullish on it, but I still feel like this is difficult. If the ask was very high and I'm going to get filled at that ask, I might be hesitant to jump in. So this was a difficult trade. So why I wanted to look at this again is because of this, RHP. So RHP are the other company that bought this $260 million property. So let's look at what happened to their stock price when the other company's stock was going up. So if you go to October 26, wasn't that? Although that is pretty cool. That happened afterwards. So on October 26, their stock price fell. So while the other one was rising, this one was falling. So that's kind of cool. And then eventually, I guess a few days later, and then it went up. But and then what was it? STRS, they didn't get much action on any of the following days. 28th, nothing. 29th, nothing. 28th, very little price action. 29th, absolutely nothing. And was 29th it was a Friday, so people could have traded on it. Either way, it's falling right now, but yeah, that initial rise was very fast at 9:20. So if you were bullish, on STRS initially, that was the right way to go. And sometimes you kind of just have to use your brain too. It's not all about indicators. So that's what I would say for that. Do I want to talk about anything else? Yeah, sure, I would like to. So it hung on the upper bands when it was really hot. I want to see what was the band hit count. I'm curious to know. So let's go back. I think I might have to do candles to go back. And then I want to go do this, like that. So 11 hits, was it 11? Yeah, 11 hits on the upper bands. And then that was it. That was it. So if I hit play, it just fell the rest of the day, right? Right. And the volume is pretty low. You can see because these candles are completely flat. But if you use Hike and Ashy, you can kind of, yes, that's okay, we can exit. What happened? Did I say no? Yeah, I said no. Yeah. So Hike and Ashy makes these flat candles look like filled, and you can actually read them. So that's something that I like. Another thing was like, okay, yeah, you could have used this here, but yeah, if you were using the confluence indicators, you could have bought when it was like slightly red and sold when it was really red, when it was fuchsia. But this was a really difficult trade. I feel like the money was when you bought in kind of like at a moment of prediction, when it was post-market and or pre-market, and before it went to like past 33.57. So that's all I wanted to say about that. I found that it was worth looking at again because I noticed the second piece of news was the exact same news, just for a different company. So yeah. I suppose the last thing to talk about was if the stock price jumps for one ticker, I'll look at this later. I only have one piece of information. But if the stock price jumps for one ticker, and it's probably going to fall for the other one, that's pretty much exactly what happens. So maybe you could try shorting the other stock. Yep, that's all I want to talk about. Peace out.